And when it comes to diaspora, we have two segments on the show. The first segment is where I give you the news making the headlines globally. The second segment is where we delve straight into one particular topic and we dissect it in its totality. We discuss it, we give you the full lowdown of what the story entails so you can have a better understanding of that story. And I'll be joined, as always, by Barrister Olufemi Adenito. We're going to do that second segment together this afternoon. Alright, don't forget, we are live this afternoon on YouTube. Yes, you can join us on YouTube this time around at Erie 961 FM Ibadan on YouTube, and you'll see the face behind the voice of Joshua Bello this afternoon. So without further ado, without wasting any of your precious time, let's go straight to the first segment of the show, which is the news making the headlines globally. What is trending online in other parts of the world and also right here in the continent of Africa? Stay tuned to find out. Yes, over the course of a couple of weeks now, there has been one trending topic or one trending crisis, potentially, and it has been causing a lot of fears among the global population. But right now, something else has trumped that. Something else is now making waves, and it is happening right here in the continent of Africa, and it also revolves around a virus. Now, for a couple of weeks, we've been hearing about antivirus. People have been panicking that what is this virus about? Hope it's not going to be like coronavirus when everybody had to be stationed in their houses, no movement, a lot of restrictions. We're past that now. It has been confirmed that it's not yet a pandemic. It has been partially handled by the governments. Now, the new issue brewing in Africa revolves around a virus we know very well. And it is one we are not unfamiliar with. And it is the Ebola virus. Yes, there seems to be a recent resurgence of the Ebola virus in some countries right here in Africa. And right now, the World Health Organization, WHO, has now warned that numbers could rise further as more people have been confirmed dead and they are suspected of dying from the Ebola virus. Yes, earlier today, the World Health Organization, WHO, says there have been suspected new cases of 600 plus of the Ebola virus and 139 suspected deaths, with numbers expected to rise further given the time taken to detect the virus. So that is the update this afternoon from the World Health Organization. And it doesn't end there. According to them, 51 cases have now been confirmed in the Democratic Republic of Congo, that is DRC, where the first case was reported a couple of weeks, and 2 in neighboring country, Uganda. Now, in case you don't know, DR Congo and Uganda are very close to each other. So there have been reported cases in these two countries. And today, World Health Organization Chief Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus made the announcement today. And speaking to journalists in Geneva, he said the outbreak of the Bundibugyo species of Ebola was likely to have started a couple of months ago. So you have to be very careful when you want to travel at this point in time. I would advise you, if you are planning to travel to any of these two countries, especially maybe Uganda or DRC, that is the Democratic Republic of Congo, I would advise you to be very cautious. Take maximum care of yourself. Ensure you are very, very protected, because there seems to be a new strain of the Ebola virus now spreading sporadically in DRC and also in Uganda. So please stay safe out there. Now, the second story I have with me here this afternoon is from China. Now, a couple of days ago, don't forget, I told you there was a meeting between Chinese President Xi Jinping and the United States of America President, that is Donald Trump. The meeting was for 2 days. It was a 2-day state visit from Trump. And right now, after Trump left, just a few days between them, another president has now traveled as well to China. And this time around, you can see one of the rivals or one of the contenders with the United States of America in Russia. Yes, a Russian president Vladimir Putin has also traveled to China today, and they are having a meeting as we speak. So it seems for a couple of days now, China seems to be the center of attention at this point in time. So a lot is happening in China. And one thing you know about China is that they are trying to do their best to see that they are not leaning towards any country. They are trying to show that they are big boys as well. When it comes to global politics, they are trying to not show their hands and support everybody. They are trying to show that they are open to business to anybody in the entire world. But we know, as always, it's not always that simple. Now, without wasting any time, let's go straight to the second segment of the show this afternoon, where we discuss one particular issue that is pertinent, that is very, very important and germane at this point in time. And today's topic is one that saddens my heart, and I'm sure it saddens Nigerians' heart all over the world, not only those that are based in Nigeria, because it's one issue we have been shouting, we have been discussing so long about this issue, and it keeps on rearing its ugly head. And once again, it has sprung up yet again, and nothing seems to be a solution. Nothing seems to be done about it that can at least make sure that this thing is put to its barest minimum in the country, Nigeria. So to discuss this with me this afternoon, I've got Barrister Olufemi Adenito in the studio. Good afternoon, Barrister.
Hello, Joshua. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, sir. You're looking dapper, as always.
Yeah, thank you so much. Interesting times, Joshua.
Yes, quite sad, actually.
Interesting times. Yeah.
When I saw that video circulating online, I was so depressed. But the thing is that we have become so used to this sad incident that most Nigerians have become a bit numb to this kind of news. That because we just hear it and it's like a normal thing now for us to hear these things, which is kind of sad. In a country like Nigeria, we keep on discussing these things, insecurity, left, right, and center. But now, the issue for me is that we've been hearing these things mostly in the northern side of Nigeria, the north central and other parts of the north. But gradually, I believe we are seeing a gradual process or a gradual infiltration or invasion in the southwest by these bandits now. And it is no longer news. They are here, but maybe not as deeply as they are rooted in the north. What is going on, Barrister? Let's try to make sense of this issue. Now, the story revolves around the teacher or teachers that were abducted and students that were abducted in the Orire local government area of Ogbomosho a couple of days ago. We saw the video circulating online where one of the teachers was gruesomely beheaded, sadly. And we are sure it is not the only person that has lost his life, sadly. What is going on, Barrister, in Nigeria at this point in time?
Well, good afternoon, everyone, audience listening. The issue is quite sad, just like the way you've earlier remarked. This is where we are now. It's
the situation of things in the country.
It's a very terrible situation because you still do not know where the solutions will come from. We thought it was, should we say, good luck, Jonathan. Then it was not. Then we were looking at Mahmoud Buhari. Then
that was the problem.
It became worse. Then we thought if a Yoruba man becomes the president of Nigeria, maybe we would have our interests protected and all of that. So what we have seen now is that we've seen that it is not about ethnic or where you are from now. And these guys do not have the what it actually takes to lead. And this is where we find ourselves, sadly. And it's going to get worse. That's the sad news. It's going to get worse. And there will be more of this kind of things because it seems like the those in position of authority, especially in the security, defense, and all of that, they are not doing what they ought to do. And that is why it makes it more easier for us to see a recurrent kind of brazen kind of attacks of this nature. Because, believe me, it takes a while to make this kind of preparation. And the Nigerian state, which is what's supposed to be the giant of Africa, do have everything, the monopoly of violence. They have the intelligence. I'm quite aware that if you investigate further, if you do an investigative journalism in terms of
uncovering the situation,
you will realize that the police or the intelligence may have this information beforehand. And now they wait until these young ones were adopted and the teachers. Then we have to now come to the bargain.
They will start negotiating.
And those will start requesting for huge amount of money. And the Nigerians will pay. They will pay. And when they pay, then you empower them more. Those guys will get more of arms and ammunition.
From the money you pay to them?
From the money you pay. And that's what we're talking about, the series we've been discussing so far.
Yes.
We realize that from the Ministry of Interior down to customs, everything, you see that there's a kind of a systemic failure. And when we
total failure.
Systemic failure, yes. Because if we say that a kind of attack will take place within that space of time, then somebody is not doing his job.
In broad daylight, Barrister. In broad daylight.
And it took place for an hour, of close to an hour. And they
no security agency could respond in time.
Just imagine somewhere like Ogbomoso, within that axis. And we are talking about the safety. And gradually, they will be moving forward. When we're talking about issues around securitization, terrorism, and all these things, it's not, you have to address it from the root cause. And we talked about the Lake Chad not being safe and all of that, the borders being porous and all of that. Today, you find a whole lot of people moving into Nigeria. No proper profiling, no proper documentation. You don't really know who is who, what business do they have. Now, it's going to have a ripple effect, not just on security alone, in the entire value chain of Nigeria. You see that even those peasant farmers will not be able to return back to their farms. Children will not be able to go back to school. They will be scared. Churches will not be able to perform religious functions. The mosque will not be, because once it goes to some time, there's a tension now in the land now. And this is the motive of what terrorists or bandits, what they do. They want to instill fear. They want to instill discord within the state so that the state feels incapacitated, so that people see the state as it has failed. And of course, what's the function of a government? The primary function of every government is protection of lives and property. And when the state fails in that, then
their number one duty.
Yes. So the state is fragile at the moment. The institutions are not really working. The police has failed because this is the pure duty of the police, right? The duty of the police is not to go on streets and start collecting bribe and start extorting people or start following VIPs. The job of the police is to do the mandate, which is under the executive arm of government, to implement, to ensure that there is protection of life and order. There should be. Now you have to now put the state into a stress. Now we've talked about the Oyo State now is being known for a place that is not safe. We just talked about one of the incidents that occurred recently, just earlier this year, and now we are again, another sad occurrence. Incidents, right? So what's happened to our forest? The forest is not safe anymore. So
Barrister, is Nigeria resigned to its fate? Does this mean that there's nothing that can be done by the government? Are they straitjacketed?
I feel it is just we are just caused by to have terrible leaders. That's just the how to put it. Because this is something that can be fixed. These guys go out, they know how it's been done. It's something that can be fixed. When this kind of a thing happens, you will swift to action. The police should even have, how do we call it now, a jet or a helicopter to fly around. There should be drone technology to locate these guys. How do they even make their recording? How do they send it out? You can track them. So it shows that perhaps maybe somebody who is supposed to do what is not doing it well. Because this won't even happen in any civilized environment. It can't even happen in South Africa. This can't even happen in South Africa. It can't even happen in Ethiopia or these other maybe smaller countries to Nigeria.
In terms
now,
of
we are having this kind of a terrible situation.
And we call ourselves the giants of Africa.
We've not really exhibited that. And it also shows an indication that the president is not doing his job. And the boss talks at the decks of the president. And we've seen that he's a Yoruba man and he's not done. He's not even protected Yoruba people now. Because we don't know what else will befall the states, right? What else is going to happen? So there's a need for us to see how to, and the truth is that Tinubu has to sit tight, because I don't really see any other maybe potential person that could even fix Nigeria, because all of them, they're all the same, right? I call
Birds
them
of a feather.
They're all the same. They are the same. So it's just like we know the devil. Let's allow him to fix, if he can fix the country. The devil that you know is better than the angel you don't know. Yeah, because anyone with looking at the lead up, the contestants, they are all friends. They are all friends. Tinubu is a friend to Atiku. Atiku is a friend to Seyi Makinde. Seyi Makinde is a friend to Kwankwaso. Kwankwaso is a friend to Peter Obi. They are all friends. So
now, Goodluck Jonathan is also coming into the picture now.
They are all friends. They are all friends. They sit down, they discuss. They are just making us the spectators coming here to do analysis, right? And they are all friends, and they understand what they are doing. It's just all a game, right? This is just a game, and it's about protecting the interests of their groups and their cabals and their associates, right? So whether it comes, Emakide declares, they are all the same groups of people. But what I'm saying is that while you are playing governance, you are looting the state, you are looting the federation. Also try as much as possible to do the constitutional responsibility which you are meant to do, protection of life and property. Look at the increasing hunger in the land. Your state.
Yes, agriculture.
Everywhere.
It has gone down drastically.
People are hungry. Like, unemployment is increasing, right? Day by day. So there's a whole lot of problem when you talk about in the case of Nigeria now. So the trouble with Nigeria, it goes beyond even security. It's all encompassing. And this is why, of course, 2027 is coming. We'll start seeing stomach infrastructural relief items. They'll start giving people wrapper, giving people rice and all of that, just because they want you to vote, right? And again, when they vote, sometimes even the vote don't even count anyway. They rig the election. So the question we need to ask is that there is a need, a conscious effort in order to fix Nigeria. And the security, we cannot be on that. Because now, your state now is gradually going to enter into the red zone countries, where they would, US government and all these other states, the UK and
you can't fly in from Nigeria anymore.
They would say that they will advise their citizens not to
travel,
not to go to. It will be classified with state like Zamfara, Borno. So because when it becomes an unsafe terrain, people can't go anywhere. You won't be scared to go on the road, because if you believe that your safety is not guaranteed. So this is where we are today, Joshua. Sadly, we are finding ourselves in this situation.
Barrister, we have discussed how this is becoming too much of an issue in Nigeria, and there seems to be no solution in sight. But now, there has been a conspiracy theory about this incident. Now, if you notice that in recent months, there has been a spike in the cases of insecurity on a national scale. And some have said this is because they are trying to water down what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done. Is this realistic? And is the president himself helping the situation with the look of things?
To me, I've not seen anything that this government has done in terms of addressing insecurity. Like they might be. It was only when Donald Trump made that tweet that was what made him to sit up. And of course, we are aware that the US has brought in some support, kind of intelligence and intelligence sharing and all this kind of thing to assist Nigeria, right? And what you can see now, it is after then we started seeing the success we've able to experience, right? December 2025 or thereabout, there was in the hideouts in the Sokoto, right?
Yes.
So and we saw that, and shortly after we just had the death of one of the leaders of the terrorist group, Yes.
A couple of weeks ago as well.
A couple of weeks ago, yes. So when you talk about this kind of effort, and also in the Lake Chad region, remember that place is very porous, where the exit point to Mali, Niger, but within Cameroon and thereabout, those axes, that's where there's an infiltration of these unscrupulous elements coming into Nigerian soil, right? And it has been a hideout point for majority of this terrorist group, and we've seen that there have been success by the U.S. Collaborative effort with the Nigerian military of contingent force on ground. But what are we saying? We want to see more results. We don't want to see. Now we've noticed that those terrorists have now moved. They have now fled across those regions. They are now coming to the south now. And what's the plan also to curtail them, to address these issues from not escalating further? Because it shows the incapacity or inability of the state. So we are gradually sliding into what you can call
state of anarchy.
Not apart from state of anarchy, maybe state collapse, or because the state is fragile at the moment. It has a ripple effect on every facet of the economy, even the political economy dimension. You talk about it. So it's a whole lot of, and you wonder why the state has all the parastatals in place, the DSS, the intelligence, the NIA, the police, custom, immigration, so name it all. So with all this, how can some group of persons, how do you explain that a group of bandits will now come and hold your citizens hostage? Just a failure of
right under your nose.
Right, it's and what you see them, the president will do, or the governors and all of that, is to issue condolences messages or issue messages, and they see how they can negotiate, and you see how this problem will continue. So until you tackle the problem from the root, you will keep on revolving around where we are. So what happens to the intelligence? What happens to the IT, the drone technology? Even when you say, okay, let's even invest in drone technology, those people would still not want it to work effectively. They will go and get the locomotive one, those outdated ones, and you see,
quite ridiculous.
Despite the huge investment in security
in the country,
in trillions on millions and billions, you still find that the condition is getting worse. Okay, we started from Chibok, talking about Dapchi schoolgirls, boys, and they keep up schoolgirls and all of that. Then you talked about the one in Nigeria. Then you see it's so always like an episode. Yes. So the conflict entrepreneurs are the ones that keep on feasting on this. It's a business for them, and they make a whole lot from it. And so, lastly, before I end, the politicians also hire thugs, and they give them guns. They are doing it again this 2027.
They are cronies.
Yes. And by the time that they use those weapons to intimidate their supporters, to intimidate their opponents, they retrieve these guns from from those thugs. And that is why you see this kind of cycle of impunity going
keeps on revolving.
Because you don't retrieve those guns from the thugs. By the time they help you rig election, then what happens to those guns?
Personal gain.
And these are these boys that become the bandits that we are talking about. So the politics, the system also is also supporting the kinds of insecurity you find in the country. And so that's why we don't even have any pragmatic approach to addressing the conflict, the issue.
Now, Barrister, you've made a lot of sense, and you've discussed the security architecture of Nigeria in its totality. It is not working. Now, we are almost out of time, just in 1 minute. You've spoken largely about intelligence in Nigeria, how we are lagging behind in that sector. Do you think that should be the major focus of the government at this point in time, to solve this issue of insecurity? If you are the president or in a situation to advise the president, what is one area? Is it the intelligence that he needs to work on? Just in 1 minute.
Intelligence is not the problem. We have all the intelligence. They we are aware about the attack. It was just poor management, poor response time. The attitude of many times when you go to the police station to report a case, I hear a lot of complaints. The police don't even have the will to even carry out to act. They are always trying to play backdoor and all of that. And in times in investigation, they even ask you to bring money for them to carry investigation. So you see the attitude, and even starts even from the president, the governors, all of them, they are all the same. They don't even have that attitude to even effect the change that you so desire. And that is where we are. And that's why it's not really working, because if you say you want to advise the president, you first advise him to first stop corruption within himself, stop looting, stop the ministers within his cabinet. Because once they know the attitude, because the leaders, it starts from the leadership.
Lead by example. They should lead by example.
Yes. When you start seeing that within their circle, there is kind of a sanity, then it will set the body language to everyone that, and you activate all the bodies. If you are investing the X amount of money in defense or security, ensure that there's a transparency. And when you don't get it right, you activate the either the ICPC or the EFCC to go after that person and prosecute immediately. So that's it. So Joshua, this is where we are now. But this is just going to be a statement. I hope they are listening.
Yes, let's just hope they are listening. They are listening. I know they are listening. But it's just left to them to take action and do the right thing, because that is their number one responsibility. The securing of lives and property. It is the fundamental function of the government. Forget about the economy. This is the number one thing they need to do. And hopefully they can do better, because they need to do better. And don't forget, the elections are fast approaching. This is the end goal. A lot is happening at this point in time. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu needs to do better. His ministers also need to act at this point in time. The Ministry of Defense is not doing enough. And we are crying out now, do better. We need more from you, the government. You need to be accountable. Your officials need to be accountable. So that is where we're going to end the show at this point in time. We are already out of time. Thank you so much, Barrister Olufemi Adenito, for your expert analysis as always, and your insightful analysis as always. It's always a pleasure to have you on the program. So listeners on abroad, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. I come here once again next week. Same time, same station. My name is Joshua Bello. Love you, and I love you some more. Bye-bye for now.